Round 3 was not a good week for most premiums, and our score was below par, 2,130, just top 34%, down to 17k overall. The number's not great, but it's early days, we'll be alright. So in last video's trades, I had Raul in the team with the possibility of using a boost for Bowie. That's not what I ended up going with. We ended up going Gawn to English, McGovern to Heaney, and Owens to Hayes. So I used a boost there, 9.9k in the bank. I figured I was okay with doing a trade in and possibly bring back at a cheaper price move with Max Gawn, more so than with Whitfield. I know a lot of people traded him out, but I still feel he can be a top defender by season's end, and I felt it was more worth doing the trade out and trade in move with Gawn because he was at max price. I didn't really want to do the same with Whitfield because he was already priced at somewhat of a discount. But moving on to the team, defense was pretty good. Short, pretty safe to say he's going to be one of the most reliable premiums we have. Crisp, it kind of feels like the last time I owned him in 2019. He goes missing for large parts of the game, but wakes up in the fourth quarter. So it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster, I think, but hopefully we get more good than bad. Whitfield was better against Gold Coast. Hewitt, slow start, but really picked it up in the second half. Hinge was really good. McCartan had a good start, faded a bit in the fourth, but we still take a 61. And on the bench, Gibcus, we don't expect too much from him, so 62 is perfectly fine. And De Koning got moved up forward and contributed pretty well in Geelong's comeback. Hell of a comeback from the boys. It was a great game to watch. The midfield had a week to forget. McRae got pushed out on a wing, gave up a 50 late in the game. Last season he only went under the ton once, and that was against Geelong during the byes. This year he goes under the ton quite early in the season. Hopefully we don't see many more of these, and I highly doubt we will. Took, definitely not Took, the man said it himself.
My name's definitely not Took, it's Took.
Took was double tagged. Don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. I guess the point is proven that he's so hard to stop that they needed two players to run with him. Lockie Ash and Matt De Boer stayed with him the whole game. So that's real unfortunate, and I know a fair few captained him. Maybe we'll have to consider in the next few weeks captain decisions and the timing of trades, because if tagging's back on the menu, we're going to have to look out for GWS in the fixture and maybe other teams that can possibly pull off a stunt like that. GWS are probably the only team that could really do that though. Maybe Sydney as well. They have a couple of guys that can perform shutdown roles pretty effectively. Neil was also tagged, but I don't think that tag would have done anything if he didn't injure his ankle in the second quarter. It could have been a whole lot worse. I was worried he was going to get subbed out, but thank goodness he continued to play and had a massive fourth quarter to get him over the ton. So the 105 is fine considering what happened during the game. Parrish has had a bit of an underwhelming start. It kind of feels like owning Petrarca last year, sort of. To be fair to him, they've taken on Geelong, Brisbane, Melbourne. That's as tough as it gets. So hopefully with their fixture opening up the next few weeks, he can really step it up. Because we picked him for a reason. He has that ceiling. He's most definitely capable. But we just got to see it. So hopefully it starts this coming week against Adelaide. Berry, kind of like the Port game, he had a fast start, real good score up to half time, but slowed down in the second half. 83 is good, but against North, they ran up the score. Would have liked a little more, to be honest. Horn Francis, tough day for North. 67 is fine. Dacos was really good. Rochelle, yeah, unfortunate to have a 36 on field. Gave up a 50 very late in the game to set up Travis Brooks' set shot. He lost a lot of points from that, so it's tough. He's going to need a lot of goals to make up his score every week. And now his break-even's up to a 40, I think. Yeah, 42. Coming off a 58 and a 36 now. Hopefully we can see a big game from him soon. Dylan Stevens had a bit of a stinker as well. Ward and McDonald, both with a couple of 50s, did some good things here and there. Ward had a great second quarter, McDonald a really good third quarter. The Rucks, Grundy 96, pretty much did that in 3 quarters. He was non-existent in the first. And Tim English, no speaker as some like to call him. My week would have been a bit of a shocker if it wasn't for him. In the preseason, for me, it was just set and forget. Pick Grundy and one of Gorn or Darcy. But right now, the value rucks have taken the dub, and I've gone from set and forget to set and correct. We got 175k from Gorn to English, which I was able to use for my other trades, and on top of that, a 152. And Dixon on the bench, good. And the forward line, Dunkley was a tackling machine, had a massive third quarter. Heaney, our new trade-in, definitely didn't reach the heights of the first 2 rounds, but that's not our expectation of him. I could have gone Cripps, but I like Heaney's chances more of being a top forward. I know he's still playing a fair bit in the forward line, but he works hard, pushes up the ground, did some good things here and there against the Dogs, but really Sydney shouldn't have been in that game if the Dogs could convert their shots on goal. So it was just a pretty tough game for Sydney. Their fixture is quite nice the next few weeks, so hopefully Isaac can snag a few goals, get a couple of high scores. But I'm definitely fine with the trade-in, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have done it. Butters had a forgettable showdown. I didn't catch most of the first half, but on FanFooty it said he got hit by Pal Pepper, so I'm assuming that might have affected him for the rest of the game. But yeah, hopefully he bounces back against Melbourne. Cornelio absolutely loves the game against Gold Coast. I remember that 207 he got a few years ago. He was in my team for that, and a 149. Unreal game from him. Sherry was good in a North side that might as well have not shown up, and Martin came back from protocols and had a solid game, found a fair bit of it, and looking forward to that price rise from him next week. On the bench, Jack Hayes, he did what he could in his limited role, got no ruck time with Ryder and Marshall both playing, but we take a 57, got a goal late in the game, just gotta hope he stays in the side. And Durden, really good first quarter, fairly quiet in the next 3, but we absolutely take a 73 from him. I don't think I'll be making a trade this week. Obviously I'm missing a couple of in-form value players, Paddy Cripps the most obvious one, but price changes have begun. So I think I'll just push through with the current team I have. We don't really have anyone here that needs to be traded out. Parrish would be the closest one. Like I could go Parrish to Cripps, but I don't feel like I need to use a trade on that. He hasn't been playing bad enough that it needs to happen. It's not like I have a Tom Mitchell that should be traded out. So I think we'll be sticking with this. And I don't know if I'll have a loop either. I guess Hayes might be the closest if St Kilda decide to drop him, and they play on Sunday against Hawthorn, so that's fine. But if I don't have a loop, I want a captain that I can absolutely trust, and that will be either McRae or Touk. McRae vs Richmond, Touk vs Carlton. I'll chuck it on McRae for now. Yeah, we'll go with Jack McRae. Big bounce back game from him, let's hope. And then the VC. You know what, let's just chuck it on Heaney. Just because. And then we can field Dylan Stevens. They versus North, so I don't mind doing that. Did he play bad enough that he might get dropped? I don't know, I hope not. But we can always field Ward if that's the case. But we'll see what happens, it's still early in the week. Let me know how you guys went, how you're tracking so far. Good luck to you all for round 4, and see you in the next video.